run for president.
One question.
Yes, sir.
How were you able to get his transcripts?
They are hiding, they're hidden along with his birth certificate.
What was the straw that broke the camel's back for you? You said, I can no longer be a conservative Democrat. I need to move to be a Republican.
For the last 2 years, it has been a particular, it was never a good fit. Because I was always out in right field. They were uncomfortable with me and I was uncomfortable with them. And over the last 2 years, as abortion rights and Second Amendment rights became very heated in Louisiana, our schism became just wider and wider. There was a statement made by the head of the Louisiana Democrat Party, who's also a state senator. She took the floor in the Senate, and she said that anyone who opposed Obamacare could only oppose such a great idea as this because of the race of the president, and therefore anyone who opposes Obamacare is a racist. My mother, as I told you, is 104, and a Democrat. Mom heard this because it was picked up and televised a lot. Mom saw it on TV, and she called me. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was on the floor of the Senate. Telephone rang, and I picked it up. It's Mom. She said, Elbert Lee, are you involved? And then she told me about what she'd seen on TV. She said, are you involved in any comments like that? Are you saying anything like that? If you are participating in that, you will bring dishonor upon our family. 2 hours later, I'd made the switch. I was ready to do it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Yes, ma'am.
I remember when Obama was a senator, and he said that anybody that wanted to vote for raising the debt limit was because of irresponsible failure of leadership.
Yes.
And now, where is it?
Yes.
He's prodding our Republicans and criticizing them for not wanting to raise the debt ceiling for his failed leadership.
One of the things that he's...
And look at it was only 8,000 then.
That's right.
Now it's 16, headed up higher.
It's really much closer to 17 than 16,
yes.
And going to 18,
yeah.
Really. He is incredibly able to speak out of both sides of his mouth. I don't know how you can do that. He's got it worked out to a sign. Yes, ma'am.
What's been the reaction of your constituents in your district?
In my district, my constituents, 99.5%. Very favorable. They understand, they accept, because the values that I espouse and the values that the Republican Party espouses, those are the same values of the folks at home. They're very satisfied, they're very comfortable. Few people who are constituents have not been pleased, and members of the Democrat hierarchy, some of them have been downright mean and nasty. I mean, they've called me some incredible things. But most of my constituents, very accepting. Yes, sir.
So a lot of people have said about trying to convince neighbors and friends that are Democrat. How would you suggest that people go about that, coming from the Democrat Party now to the Republican Party, to talk to people, to try to convince them and tell them of all of these problems? And today we've only scratched the surface. There's so many other things. What advice do you have in talking to people?
One technique that we use, and we've used it very successfully, is to ask people to open their eyes and look around. We talk to them about unemployment, about violence, about the crumbling infrastructure. If you open your eyes and look around and you're satisfied, then there's nothing more to talk about. But if you're not satisfied, then let's talk about the alternatives. And we are certainly a very, very successful and viable alternative. One of the things that when I'm talking to black, I know you have some black friends, when you talk to them, if you talk to them about the civil rights leadership, historic civil rights leadership of the Republican Party, and what Obama is doing right now in Louisiana to little black children in the education field, it is a real eye-opener. I urge you to look at those as possible techniques.
Thank you.
And when you have some good ideas, give them to me too, please. Yes, sir.
How would you explain the reluctance of so many people seemingly to speak the truth about who this man is?
Our community has been desperate for a hero and something that we thought was a hero came along and a lot of people bought into it. Unfortunately, when we unwrapped the package, it was a ticking time bomb. But that is from the black side, that is why so few blacks criticize him. From the white side, good Lord, if you say one word that's negative about Obama, you're racist, you're terrible, and I think that some people have succumbed to that, to those criticisms and muted their criticism, unfortunately. And I hope, my brothers and sisters, that you throw off that, not be concerned about the epithets that people will throw at you, but speak about this man. Tell the truth about what he's doing to our economy, to our national defense, what he's doing to education, jobs. We gotta tell the truth about him. He is a dangerous person. Yes, sir.
One quick question. Do you think there's any way that we can hold some of these public officials liable for slander against us? They've called us every name in the book. And we're the American citizens that are being called terrorists, anarchists, we're called hostage takers, we're called every name under the book by our own elected officials.
I think that's a good idea.
We should sue them for slander.
I think that's really a good idea. Let's talk about that when I finish here. I know that I'm holding you from your lunch, but let's talk a little bit. Oh, all right.
No, he gave nothing.
Yes, ma'am.
Boehner walked.
Excellent. How did the citizens of Louisiana with
Senate, the lady from Maine,
choice,
compromise,
how did
and that
they
went down
take,
too.
The administration going after the school choice?
So Obama would vote.
Real mad. Real mad. I know you noticed those veins on my forehead popping out when I was talking about that. We are incensed. I'm a child of the civil rights movement, and in the 1950s, there were some backwoods thugs wearing tobacco-stained sheets who stood in the very doorways of the schoolhouses to prevent little kids from going in to get an education. Today, these thugs wearing Brooks Brothers suits they are as despicable as any thug I have ever seen. To prevent or to try to kill a successful educational program, not for kids who just have an average chance at getting an education, but the kids who are in the worst schools, in the worst situations. Their parents and they have the gumption and the desire to get an education, and they're willing to go through all the red tape to secure a voucher and go across town and get an education. And to stop that is just absolutely despicable. We're mad about it.
Croc TV.